As a young boy, I distinctly remember my father always holding Porsche in high regard. When we go to car shows or see sports cars out and about, I'd get really excited every time I saw a Corvette or exotic sports car. My father would light up every time he saw a Porsche. When I asked what he liked so much about them, he'd boldly proclaim that they built the best cars in the world. I thought they were beautiful, but seemed a bit bland and lacked the in-your-face styling and flash that other new sports cars had. Over time, I have grown to appreciate timeless beauty over new, more ostentatious design. When you go to a Ferrari meet, people talk about how few miles they have on their cars, and they show off their pristine vehicles. When you go to a Porsche meet, people talk about how many miles they have on their cars. Most of them appear to have been driven hard, and the drivers recall countless stories of past adventures with their cars. It is evident, too, that Porsche owners are major advocates for their cars and are often die-hard brand loyalists. The only way for me to truly test the Porsche waters was by jumping right in, so when I was 20, I bought my first 911. It was a 996 Cabriolet in fair condition with a dodgy history. I expected my first drive in it to be some holy experience that would lead me to instantly realize why people love Porsche so much, but it wasn't. I had never been in a car with that level of power and performance with the engine in the rear. The brakes felt unresponsive compared to what I was used to, and the entire driving dynamic was so foreign to me. It grew on me a bit over time, but I ended up selling it about a year later to downgrade to a Miata, which was more approachable for me at the time. After owning several other sports cars, Miatas, Corvettes, a Lotus, an MR2, a GTI, and a couple Mercedes sedans, I decided to return to the Porsche waters with the purchase of a well-sorted 911. This time, as I drove the car more and more, I fell in love with it. The position of everything, the wheel, the tachometer, the shifter, the seating position were all perfect. Getting in felt like putting on my most comfortable worn old t-shirt. The drive was full of character. The sound, the level of handling, and the level of driver engagement balanced with comfort were sublime. The level of refinement in the drive was beyond words, and the more I drove it, the more I fell in love with Porsche. The only thing missing was the X factor. My 911 was beautiful, but it didn't have much for rarity, exotic appeal, or wow factor. That's when I found my 2011 Boxster Spider. It's a rare car, and the rear humps, more aggressive stance, factory script on the side, and other styling Easter eggs really give it the special feel that I wanted in a Porsche package. It is simply my favorite car I've ever owned. It isn't the fastest, it isn't the flashiest, and it isn't the most expensive car. What it does do is strike the perfect balance of everything for me. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. In my life, I have found that the best relationships are the ones that grow over time. Often, love at first sight is too good to be true. This statement best sums up my relationship with Porsche. I'm not a one-brand guy, and I do believe that variety is the spice of life. I will always have a Porsche in my collection, though. And if I'm ever forced to only keep one car, it would have to be a Porsche. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Feel free to leave your thoughts, comments, and Porsche experiences in the comments down below. Also, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd appreciate it. Thanks again, and take care.